Hey, Scott from Darkside Racing again. This is about part 2 of the rear end install. We got part 1 is just a little short. I never did a short before on YouTube, so I just made it a little short because there really wasn't much to step 1, which was simply placing the rear end housing in the back of the car where it's supposed to be. So here we are. We just got a basic longitudinal placement of the rear end, front to back. We just roughed in the distance just to get the U-joint in there on the yoke. So hooking up the drive shaft to the rear end yoke. So that's that. And yeah, just tighten up the clamps to hold all that together. We roughed, this is just an absolute guess. This is all going to change the location of this bracket. It's a rear trailing arm bracket, and also the right rear shock bracket. There's another one on the other side. And then we'll also hook up, I don't know if I'm going to go with the J-bar this year, or I'm going to keep the track bar kind of contraption that came with the old chassis, which has done a perfectly good job. But it's kind of like a hoop. It goes over and under the drive shaft, which kind of makes it a pain in the butt, because if you need to take it off or anything like that, you have to drop the drive shaft. So we have a J-bar somewhere around here that came with the chassis, so I'm going to pop that in. I guess I'm going to use that one. I'm going to try to give that one a shot. What the heck. Yeah, so we're going to do that. And then we'll get that squared away, and then we can start working on the lateral placement of this to rough that in. And then we still have to put in the third link. There's a third link there just kind of hanging down, and then that'll come in on this bracket. We'll have to put that bracket in, and we may move this bracket this year back here and make that third link a lot longer. I know that is a little tweak that you can do for like rear squat and traction and stuff like that, so I may give that a shot. It'll be a lot easier to switch it back because we already have the trailing arm, or the third link to the proper length whenever it's just mounted here. We'll have to probably fabricate one that's a lot longer if it's going to be back here. But once that happens, you can just switch between the two relatively simply. And so after that's all taken care of with the brackets, we'll get the hubs on, and then we'll start moving everything laterally. And then once that happens and these are placed in the right position, then we can weld those to the tubes, and then we can move on to other stuff. So that's what we got going on right now, and just trudging along, as they say. The real tedious work comes in later, whenever we start squaring up the rear end and everything like that, and really putting it in its proper position. So right now, like I said, everything's just a rough estimate just to get it mounted, and then after that we can go into the more fine adjustments of putting it where it actually really needs to be properly. Get the geometry absolutely as perfect as we can. And that's it. So part 2, adios.